प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितनां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसादि गौर भक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी निति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य शतारिणे। Okay, so today is the auspicious day of Ekadashi, and I thought to speak about Ekadashi. I have never spoken about the origin of Ekadashi, how it came, who is Ekadashi, right? So I'll just recite a story, a pastime, and this is mentioned in Padma Puran. So we all know about Srimad Bhagavad Puran. So there is another Puran, Padma Puran, which also Srila Prabhupada quotes many times, and it's one of the 18 Puranas. So there is a pastime which comes in Padma Puran, the origin of Ekadashi. So in this is the this pastime happens in the Sat Yuga, the first Yuga. Okay, so there was once a demon. His name was Mura. He was very powerful demon. Like he got all the boons, and he became so powerful that he even defeated all the Devi Devtas like Indra, sun, moon. He defeated them. He captured the heavenly planets. And as we know, demons are by nature very atrocious, and they don't like the saintly people. So he's like that. And because he did a lot of austerity, tapasya, and he pleased the Lord Brahma and got boons and become very powerful. Okay. So then he captured the planet of Indra and replaced Indra with some other personality, replaced sun god, replaced moon god, everyone he replaced, and he was ruling the whole three planets and becoming more and more powerful. And when these kind of situations happen, then the demigods, they don't have any other refuge. Then they approached Lord Brahma, and through Lord Brahma, then they approached Lord Vishnu. So there is a Vishnu expansion. There is a Purusha avatar called Shirodakshai Vishnu, right? Which is present in this material creation. There is a Shir Sagar. Many of you have seen the picture, and it's an ocean of milk. Normally, what we see here is it's an ocean of salty water, and that's the ocean of milk. That's why it's called as Shir Sagar, where Lord Vishnu, as the Shirodakshai Vishnu, resides, and nobody can actually go and see him. But what happens? Lord Brahma goes along with his demigods, and on the shore of Shir Sagar, Lord Brahma prays, does the stuti and prayers, and then Lord Vishnu, as Shirodakshai Vishnu, reciprocates. And Lord Brahma is able to converse with him. So same thing happened. They went there. Lord Vishnu assured them that he will come and kill this demon, Mura. Okay, and in this demon, it's also mentioned he used to basically have capital as Chandravati, some place. Don't know where it is, but that's the place where this demon used to be present and rule all the three worlds: upper planetary system, lower, and Earth. So he was kind of the very powerful. So he was ruling all the three planetary systems. Okay. So yeah. So now Lord Hari, Vishnu assured the demigods that he will come and protect him and get rid of this Mura demon. Okay. So over the period of time, Lord Hari came, and then the fight happens between the demons and the demigods, and Lord Hari. Lord Vishnu killed all the demons, and at last, only the Mura, this powerful demon, was remaining. So a fight happens, direct one-to-one fight between Lord Vishnu and this demon Mura. It went on for so many celestial years, not just in days, it went in years. Like you see here, the fight between Russia and Ukraine going on for now 2.5 years. Similarly, in those days, also the fight used to happen for years, celestial years. They just used to, but there was a code, like they used to fight in the daytime, and at night time nobody will fight. So that used to happen. So at once, when the fight was going on, Lord Hari, Lord Vishnu wanted to take a rest, and he entered a cave in Himalayas. It's known as Himavati cave. Okay. Uh, so and then Lord Mura also, sorry, not Lord, Demon Mura went there as well, and he saw Lord Vishnu resting and sleeping, taking rest. He thought, now it's like a demonic nature is, they don't think about the, good and bad, right? They always think how they can win. So this demon Mura thought, now Lord Vishnu is sleeping and he does not has his weapons. So this is the good time to attack him and kill him. So he approached and he entered the cave and tried to kill Lord Vishnu. And suddenly, from Lord Vishnu's body, transcendent body, a personality appeared with the divine personality appeared with effulgent, so much effulgent light, and that, and she's a feminine form, and she started fighting with this Lord Mura as Lord was sleeping. And one by one, she get rid of all the Mura's weapons. Like she destroyed all her weapons, then destroyed his chariot, and at last there was nothing left. So Mura tried to attack this divine Devi, and she chopped his head from using the sword. So this divine personality which appeared from the body of Lord Vishnu is Ekadashi Devi. That was the origin of Ekadashi. She is a personality who appeared from the body of Lord Vishnu. Okay. So this Ekadashi is none other than non-different than Lord Vishnu. He is directly one of the energies who appeared on that day to kill Mura. And from that day, the Lord, another name was Murari. Many of you had heard this name. You say Hare Murari. Murari, that name came because the Lord killed the demon Mura. From Mura came Murari. Okay, so when the Lord Hari woke up from his rest, and he woke up, and he saw this lady, this Devi, Kadishi Devi. He understood this is one of his energies, and he saw the demon Mura being killed, and he was very happy, and he asked Ekadashi Devi for a boon. Please ask for a boon. And that day, at that time, this Devi asked the Lord that if you are happy with me, please give me this boon, that on this day, which is the day of 11th waning moon or waxing moon, is the day which is today, comes twice in a lunar calendar. If anyone fasts on this day, then all his sinful reactions are burned to ashes, and at the end of the lifetime, he goes back to be with Lord Vishnu in the spiritual world. That is the boon this Ekadashi Devi asked from Lord Vishnu, that this is for the benefit of mankind, that she asked about this boon. And Lord Hari, being so compassionate, so merciful, he awarded this boon to Ekadashi Devi, that on this day, if a person fasts, I will burn up all his sins from past many, many lifetimes, and also I will bestow him my transcendental abode. So anyone who fasts on this day, gets rid of his sinful sins, and ultimately at the end of his life, he gets an opportunity to go back to the spiritual world to be with Lord Hari, Lord Krishna. Okay, so that's the pastime of how Ekadashi Devi came and how he killed Mura demon and get this boon. And also Lord Hari promised Ekadashi Devi that if someone calls himself as my devotee, then he will surely fast on your day, and finally he will come back to me and stay with me in my abode. So anyone who claims to be a Vaishnava or devotee of Lord Vishnu or Krishna should fast on this day of Ekadashi. And it's not difficult to fast. Even a small child, 5 years, 6 years old, can also fast. And it has its own scientific benefits also, which we'll discuss. So that's the pastime of this Ekadashi. Now there is another pastime similar to this, also mentioned in Padma Puran. Okay, now I'll recite that one. So when at the beginning of creation, when the Lord created everything, he created also the Papa Purush, sin personified, right? To inflict miseries upon the sinful people. So he created a Papa Purush, and the Papa Purush, his body was created by different sins, like his head is created by the killing of Brahmanas, the sin of killing of Brahmanas, like that it's mentioned. It's his whole body is made up of different sins, and the purpose of creating this Pap Purush, or the sin personified, was to punish the sinful people, and yeah, and so after creating Pap Purush, Lord created Yamraj. Yamraj, Yamraj's position is to award the punishment to all the sinful people, and then he created different hellish planets where all the sinful people goes, and they suffer for many years, and Yamraj is the it's that hellish planets comes under the jurisdiction of Yamraj. So after doing all this, Lord went to the Yamraj, and Yamraj make him sit, washed his feet, and then they were having conversation. At that moment, uh, Lord Hari saw some cries. So many people were crying very loudly, and they were looking like as if they are in pain. So much crying was he was hearing. And then he asked Yamraj from where this cry is coming, noise of cries. And then Yamraj told that these are all the sinful people who are now suffering in these hellish planets because of their sins, and they are crying because they are under miserable condition. They are under painful condition. Out of pain they are crying. And the Lord Hari went there and saw crying, and as soon as those people who are in those hellish planets saw Lord Hari, they started crying more loudly. You know, right? When someone comes, if you are in a pitiable condition and someone comes, there is a ray of hope to get escape from that condition. People cry for more help. So same is the situation. They saw Lord Vishnu coming here, and they thought he could help. They cried very loudly, more loudly, and Lord, being so compassionate, he 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 become so compassionate, and then he told them to fast on this Ekadashi day. Advised all the residents of hellish planets that if you want to get rid of your painful situation, you should fast, because by fasting on Ekadashi day, all your sins will get vanquished, and ultimately you can get freed from this hellish planet. So at the same time, when this was going on, this Pap Purush came, the sin personified appeared, and he also pleaded with Lord Hari. He say like, I'm so afraid of this Ekadashi Devi, because I can withstand all the pious people, saintly people, but I cannot face this Ekadashi Devi. And no matter where I go in the three worlds, I face this Devi Ekadashi. So I can't escape from him. And because you are the one who created me, I am coming to your shelter to take refuge. Please help me. So then Lord Hari laughed and he told him, then on the day of Ekadashi, which is today, I give you residence that you can reside on that day, Ekadashi day, in the grains, and I assure you, because my devotees will never eat grains, so you can easily stay in the grains, and anyone uh, who eat grains on this day is actually eating sin, partaking sin. So like that, on this day, that demon Mura enters into the grains like rice, wheat, pulses, all these grains, and anyone who is eating these grains is actually eating sin only. And it's mentioned, it's not the someone, the sinful reaction of eating grains is compared to killing millions of brahmanas. It's so sinful. Imagine someone eating grains, he has to incur the sin of killing so many millions brahmanas by eating grains on this day. So that's why it's not an option to do Ekadashi. It's a must have for all the humanity to fast. And there are four kinds of fasting, because Lord is so compassionate, right? Great. So one fasting is what we do Nirjala, which do Nirjala Ekadashi, meaning complete fast, no water, no grains, obviously no grains, no fruits, nothing. That's Nirjala. And it's there is one Ekadashi comes very soon. It will come in June, Nirjala Ekadashi. That's when most of the devotees do fasting of this kind, Nirjala Ekadashi. There is another pastime how Pandav Nirjala Ekadashi happens. But that is the one kind of fast. Second is only on water, just be on water whole day. And third is just be on fruits the whole 24 hours. And fourth one is where you can have non-food grains like samurais. You can have milk products, fruits. You can have what you call that putu atta, anything made of putu atta, singada atta, all that items which we know, right? So Srila Prabhupada knew that people in this age cannot do big austerities. So he advised to do the fourth kind of fasting for everyone. If someone can do higher, like can remain on fruits or can remain on water, it's good enough. But everyone should be able to do the fasting with alternative items. Even the people with uh, medical conditions like diabetes, blood pressure, they can't live without eating like, for a while, for a long time. So they can also do this fasting. Like you can eat samurais, yogurt, non-grains, right? So that is what is recommended. But other other thing is to do some extra devotional service on this day, because this Ekadashi day is very dear to Lord Krishna, and we know why it's dear, because it's the day of that Ekadashi Devi who appeared on this day, and she is not different than Lord Krishna. She appeared directly from his body, so it's very auspicious day. So on this day we should reduce our bodily demands of eating, sleeping, reduce and do something extra. For example, Prabhupada recommended, and many gurus also recommended, that on normal days, let's say if someone is doing 16 rounds on this particular day of Ekadashi, we can chant little extra. Like for me, or for my guru, specifically asked us to chant 25 rounds on all Ekadashis. So that's what I have been following. The 25 rounds on Ekadashi and other days. And like that, we should try to be part of some sadhu sangha on this day, listen to some classes like we are doing now. But if Ekadashi falls on weekdays, maybe you can listen to YouTube or read something from the scriptures, do something extra, perform some service in the temple if you get given an opportunity. The whole idea is to be engaged in the service, extra devotional service on this day, Ekadashi day, and reduce the bodily demand. If possible, in the fourth type of fasting where you can eat You can eat non-grains if possible. Again, in that category, there are three levels. First level is just eating once a day, like afternoon or in the evening. Second category, eating twice. Third is eating all three times. So depending on one's capability, ability, one can do. And it's also mentioned in Hari Bhakti Vilas about the appropriate age when the fasting should happen. Like it says, anyone who is 8 years and above should be following the fasting of Ekadashi Vrata. 8 years and above. So even for children, we can make them fast because we know better. We know we can explain why we are fasting on this day. And it's also now mentioned in there is one scientist from Japan who did the research and he concluded that scientifically also it is good for the body if the body if we fast once in 15 days. It actually helps cleanse our digestive system. It helps cleanse our body, get rid of all the toxins. And if one fast like that every 15 days, there is almost negligible chance that he will incur um, what do you call diseases like cancer and all these diseases. They will not, because body has its own mechanism to get rid of all these toxins, and these diseases happens when the toxins remains in the body over a period of time, and that's what causes the harm in the body when they don't get a chance to be released. So that's another. So that scientist got actually the Nobel Prize. But this fasting has been there for so long in our Vedic culture. So if one follows that, then even materially he will remain healthy throughout his life. He will not have to go through all these diseases, which is happening because of more of overeating and eating at inappropriate times. Right? So that's about Ekadasi. Anyone has any questions, comments on this one, Ekadashi, and the significance?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes.
So you mentioned Papa Purush is
Yeah.
another like form of Yamaraj, or like you meant, like
No, no,
confused.
not another form of Yamaraj. Yamaraj is a devotee of the Lord, right? So
Okay,
Yamaraj is not propagating the sin, but this Pap Purush, his job is to create or engage people in doing sinful activities. That is the
okay,
role of Pap Purush. Those who are already sin, they need something similar to that Kali Yuga, right? You see the at the start of Kali Yuga, there is a personality Kali who came,
okay, okay.
and then this Kali he was beating the cows, and then
Got it.
Parikshit Maharaj saw him and asked him why you are doing this, and he said, "I'm Kali. I came. This is my yoga. Kali Yuga is my yoga. This is the yoga of all the sinful sin things. So you can't stop me from entering." So this is a cycle now. Kali Yuga is there, so sinful is bound to happen because of the effect of that Kali personality. Same as that Pap Purusha is sin personified. So whatever we see, everything has a personality. Like whatever, like sins also has a personality. Then all the demigods also have personality. There is a Mother Earth. She's also having a personality. Yeah.
Okay,
So
Prabhu.
okay. And because these this is a material world where all kinds of people are there, sinful people, pious people. So to punish the sinful people and to also, so there is this Yamraj is there. Yeah. Any other question? If not, then I think it's clear. So on this day, if you are not fasting, then just start fasting. And as I mentioned, there is no discomfort which can happen because you can, if you have difficulty in fasting, like not eating, then you can take the Ekadashi items on this day, and that's absolutely okay. Um, right? So even the children can fast because the mother can cook those items, Ekadashi items on this day, and very easily everyone can fast. But if one is not fasting, then understand that we are eating the sins only in the form of grains. Sometimes there is this thing in India I see that people think that only rice have sin and people just avoid rice but eat wheat and all other things. But in Shastra, it's not mentioned anywhere only rice. All grains have sins because this demon Mura enters into all the grains, wheat, rice, other kinds of flours, everything, pulses, peas, all these things have sin on this day. Okay, let's go to next part, which is our. Oh, Dipti ji also has a hand raised. Yes.
Prabhuji, just one question. So if you're on fruits, how many times can we eat fruit? Like after 12 o'clock or once in the evening? Like what is the roundabout idea on that?
So yeah. So if you're fruits only on fruits, you can like after 12 o'clock you can eat, and maybe before sunset again. If your body is feeling low, then you can have fruits. Yeah, twice. Main idea is to look for the bodily demands, like not be lethargic and lazy and just sleeping, thinking that I'm not eating anything, but I'm not able to do any service, then that's defeats the purpose of fasting. So if you're feeling low, if you are feeling that your body is demanding, then have that fruits or other Ekadashi items, and keep engaging. Like at least don't lie on bed and don't sleep. Just be engaged in your day-to-day service. Like if the Ekadashi falls on a day when people are busy, like people in busy meaning everyone is working. Obviously, you can't take a day off and just be lying. So whatever you need to fulfill your duties, and if your body demands that, then yeah, eat twice. So as I was saying, different devotees, different people have different body composition and different levels, right? So someone may be fine just by eating once in the evening, and he may be just eating. Someone may require 2 times. Small children may require 3 times. So all is okay. 2 times is good, I think. If for mostly, I think I've seen people doing 2 times. Till 12, if you can do without taking anything, that's best. After 12, around 1, we can take once either fruits or other items like samog rice and all, and then in evening around 6, one more time.
Thank you.
Does that help, Dipti?
Yes, Prabhuji, it does.
Yeah. So that way, other thing is that we save time. We save time on cooking also, because the preparation should be simple, right? And whatever time we saved from cooking can be utilized for the service of Lord Hari or service of Lord Krishna. So that is the thing. So sometimes people are like in their behavior, they are all nice people, but they are ignorant about this. So throughout their life, even if they are doing everything good, but they are not fasting on Ekadashi days, then they are incurring sin. And not just simple sin, it's a sin of killing a Brahmana. So imagine if someone is incurring so much sin, then they are bound to get some reactions, sinful reactions next time, right? And then ignorance is not a kind of excuse. So that is another reason. Like I was just reading in Srimad Bhagavad that Padma Purana says, out of Ignorance is the root cause of everything. Like ignorance is the root cause of all the things, because people are mostly, everyone is ignorant when they come, so they don't know anything. But then if they get in the association of devotees, then definitely they will get to know. And also, this is one of the duties of parents. Parents are the first guru of the child, to teach the children from their childhood about these things. This was all there in previous 40, 50 years back. This was all there in the families, but slowly, because of the effect of westernization, all these things are going away. So that is another problem which we are facing. Right. But parents play an important role in this, to educate children about all these things. Okay, let's go next part. We'll discuss chapter 17 of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Okay, let me just share my screen. So chapter 17 is talks about uh, the divisions of faith. So last class we discussed about the divine and demoniac nature, and before that we discussed three modes of material nature, right? So based on the three modes of material nature, everything, even the faith, is divided into these three modes or impacted by these three modes. So at the very beginning of the chapter, Arjun asked a very valid question, that what is the situation of those who do not follow the principles of scripture but worship according to their own imagination? Are they in goodness, passion, or ignorance? So you see, sometimes people don't follow what's mentioned in scriptures because they don't know what is there in scripture. They don't want to know also, but they just follow what comes to their own imagination. Okay, I will just follow this because my parents used to follow, my family used to follow. Whether it's right or wrong, it's authorized by scriptures, they don't know. So then Arjun asked this question, what modes are they? Then Krishna replies actually, and I have a chart for this to go through faster. He says, based on the, let me pull up that chart. Based on the modes of goodness, based on the modes of material nature, everyone worships different things. And when a person is born, when a soul comes into the material world, based on his previous impressions, past karmas, he acquires some qualities from these three modes. That's why we see sometimes from the childhood, we can see, okay, this child is very gentle, he's very sober. So parents can figure out, yeah, this child is in predominantly mode of goodness. He has inclination to hear, go to the temple, right? Sometimes we see certain childs are very passionate, they get angry. So all these three modes impact everyone, but for some people who will be primarily in mode of goodness, then that's their primary mode. Some are primarily in passion, that becomes their primary, and some are in ignorance. So based on what is their mode, predominant mode, which they are affected with, that also determines what are their behaviors, what are their actions, what are their food habits, what are their habits of austerity, charity, everything is determined by these three modes. So this chapter 17 is about this thing only, activities in these three modes. So Arjun asked those who are just worshipping on their own, like we have seen in India particularly, people just worship anything and everything. You just put a stone somewhere there and just put one mala and put some daksina, and people start worshipping that thing, whether they don't know what is that. So Krishna says that those who worship demigods, Devi Devtas, they are in the mode of goodness. But those who are in mode of passion, they worship demons. And those who are in ignorance, they worship spirits and ghosts. Okay. Now the question comes, what about those who worship Lord Ram, Lord Hari? Because they are not demigods, right? Lord Krishna, Lord Vishnu. What about those? So what's the answer to that question? Anyone? Anyone wants to take chance? What about those who are worshipping Lord Vishnu, Hari, Krishna, Ram? Because that's not mentioned in this speech. So what?
It's same as praying Lord Krishna, Prabhu, because those are, I mean, all those gods also avatars of Krishna.
Correct. So my question is, in which mode that does that worship falls into?
Mode of goodness.
Okay. Anyone else?
Yeah, so those are so Vishnu Tattvas, right? So beyond the goodness.
Yes. So there's something new for you. So apart from these three modes, there is a mode called pure goodness. Pure goodness in Sanskrit means Shuddh Sattva. So goodness means Sattvic, Sattva mode. There is pure goodness. So that's why this is also known as transcendental worship, right? We keep saying this term, transcendental knowledge, transcendental worship. What does actually transcend means? Transcendental actually means beyond these three modes, which transcends these three modes. So the worship or devotional service to Lord Vishnu, Krishna, Lord Krishna, transcends these three modes. So the person doing the devotional service, that devotional service is not in mode of goodness. It is in the mode of pure goodness. Okay, and I will tell you more about this. Like even the mode of goodness, passion, ignorance is not good, because all three modes binds us to the material world. If someone is goodness, obviously he will do pious work, but the result of those pious work is to get more material opulence, more, which is known as what do you call, bhukti unmukhi sukriti. Bhukti means more opulence. So the result would be that he has to come back to the material world again to enjoy the results of his worship or pious work. So that means he is still bound to the material world. He will take birth in the family of rich people. He will be very famous. He may become an influential personality, or he may go to the heavenly planets to take birth there. So like that. So passion and ignorance, we already know. Those who are in passion, predominantly when they leave the world, they have to come back to the earth planet here again. Ignorance mostly go to the hellish planets. Okay. This is also mentioned in Srimad Bhagavad Gita in chapter 14. So same thing, Krishna, let me go back, explains that according to the modes of nature acquired by the soul, one's faith can be of three kinds: goodness, passion, ignorance. Now hear about this. Then he says, O son of Bharat, according to one's existence under the various modes of nature, one evolves a particular kind of faith. The living being is said to be of a particular faith according to the modes he has acquired. Okay. This is what I mentioned. As soon as someone takes a birth, he evolves a particular kind of faith depending on the modes which he has acquired from nature. Right. So that's why we see different kinds of people, different kinds of faith. No matter if someone is mode of ignorance, no matter how hard you try, he may not leave his habits because he's identifying with that mode. That is his nature. He say like this person's nature is very gentle or this person's nature is very aggressive. So from where that nature is coming? That nature is coming from these modes, because that person is identifying with one of those modes, and his faith, his activities are all dependent on that mode. Okay. So Krishna further says, men in mode of goodness worship demigods, those in passion worship demons, and those in ignorance worship ghost and spirit. Okay. And then he said, those who undergo severe austerities, penitence not recommended in the scriptures, performing them out of pride and egoism, who are impelled by lust and attachment, who are foolish and who torture the material elements of body, as well as the super soul dwelling within are to be known as demons. The main thing here is the any austerity, any fasting should be done for the pleasure of Lord, not for any other purpose, not for political purpose, like people go on fasting to blackmail or all those things. Those things are not authorized by scriptures. Prabhupada clearly says such authorized fasting or authority for some political end are certainly very disturbing to others. They are not mentioned in scriptures. They are considered as demoniac. Right? Many times we see many social activists sits on fasting for 10 days for some uh, issue which they have with the governments. This particularly happens in India primarily, but that is not allowed by scriptures. Fasting or any austerity should be done for the pleasure of the Lord, not for any social, political, or any other things. Those all other things are considered here. Prabhupada clearly says demoniac. They are of demoniac nature. Okay. Okay.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. On
Yes.
the previous verse,
Yes.
the persons who worship the ancestors, does it come under passion or
Ancestor is Pitra.
Pitriya? Yeah,
Pitra. No, it doesn't come here. I think Krishna doesn't say which mode, but the thing is, those who worship ancestors goes to the planet of where ancestors are living. In other chapter, Krishna mentions about that in, I think, chapter 7. I think it may be in the one of passion or ignorance. Passion mostly, I think.
Okay.
Okay. So, okay. Now comes next the food. Okay. Krishna say even the food which each person prefers is of three kinds according to the nature. Okay. So let's different. Food, there are goodness, passion, ignorance. The food eaten in mode of goodness, it increases the duration of life. It purifies. It gives health. It's healthy, happiness, satisfaction, strength, right? And the foods which are in mode of goodness are primarily such foods are juicy, fatty, wholesome, and pleasing to the heart. For example, all the milk products, all the vegetables, pulses, wheat, all vegetarian stuff is in mode of goodness. Okay. Foods that are too bitter, too sour, salty, hot, pungent, dry, and burning, right? They are in mode of passion. Such foods increase distress, misery, and disease. These are the foods actually which causes disease, which are too bitter, too salty, too sour, which are very hot. Hot in the sense too much chili, too much pungent, dry. They are all in passion. That increases the passion in the body also. That's why we should avoid eating too much chili, too much bitter food. We should eat sattvic food. Onion, garlic, all this comes in the ignorance actually. Tamasic food. Now, tamasic is food prepared more than 3 hours before being eaten, which is tasteless, decomposed, putrid, and food consisting of remnants and untouchable things, is dear to mode of goodness. Untouchable things are everything which comes with flesh, like non-vegetarian food. This is untouchable thing. You can't even touch. But this is very dear to those who are in mode of darkness, ignorance. Okay. Onion, garlic, mushroom also falls in this category of ignorance food, food in ignorance, tamasic food. So this is known as sattvic, rajasic, tamasic. Okay. But again, the prasad doesn't come under sattvic, tamasic, rajasic. Prasad is something which is transcendental again. It's devotion. It transcends these three modes. It's beyond these three modes. Prasad. And how the food becomes prasad is when we prepare the food with the consciousness that we will offer to the Lord and then partake it. That becomes prasad. We put a tulsi leaf, we put it the plate in front of the Lord, in the front of altar or the picture. We chant the mantras of offering, and then uh, let the Lord honor the prasad for 5 to 8 minutes, and then take it and then mix it with everything and then partake. That is prasad. So even if prasad is cooked more than 3 hours before, still It's prasad. It doesn't fall that under the ignorance. Prabhupada clearly mentioned this. I will show you here. Otherwise, any food which is cooked more than 3 hours before, it becomes tamasic if it's not consumed within 3 hours. But here, Prabhupada says prasad is exception. Like you can prepare prasad, and even if left, you can have it after 3 hours also. Where is that? Here, remnants of food may be eaten only when they are part of a meal that was first offered to Supreme Lord or first eaten by saintly person, especially the spiritual master. Otherwise, the remnants of food are considered to be in the mode of darkness and they increase infection or disease. Such foodstuff, although very palatable to persons in the mode of darkness, are neither liked nor even touched by those in the mode of goodness. The best food is the remnants of what is offered by to the Supreme. Right. So here it's clearly said. And here it says any food which is cooked more than 3 hours before it is eaten, except prasadam, which is offered to Lord, is considered to be in mode of darkness. So that makes, so for all of us, we should definitely offer food which is to the Lord first and then take, and then we should prepare food in this first category, not second and third category. We should not offer something which is third or second category to the Lord also. We should offer this one. And if you want to know which are the food stuff, you go to this text 8, and Prabhupada gives, oh no, Prabhupada didn't give here, but it's all, as I was saying, vegetables, pulses, everything vegetarian except onion, garlic, mushroom, all these things, vinegar, these are all no. But and these are very pleasing to heart also. They increase the lives, they actually increase the well-being. They are wholesome, fatty, juicy, and they give strength, happiness, everything. Next comes sacrifices. And Krishna says even the sacrifices performed according to these 3 modes. So sacrifice means any sacrifice which we do, fire sacrifice, havan, or sankirtan. So any sacrifice which is performed according to Shastra and not desiring any reward in return is in mode of goodness. The moment any desire comes, material desire, that I am doing this for the purpose of this, for the benefit. Like sometimes people do some havan, some difficulties in their life or something, desiring material rewards or for the sake of pride also, that is in mode of passion. Okay. And disregard scriptures, no prasad distribution, no Vedic hymns, nothing. Like just sometimes people just do like that. This is in mode of, without even faith, mode of ignorance. Okay. So again, the best sacrifice is to do Harinam Sankirtan. That is again transcends these 3 modes. It becomes pure sattva. Any activity which we do for the pleasure of Lord becomes pure sattva, transcendental. It awards us spiritual credits, not material credits. But all this is under material realm. Okay, now comes the austerities part. Austerities means tapasya. Austerity of the body consists in worship of Supreme Lord, the Brahmana, spiritual master, and superiors, father, mother, and in cleanliness, simplicity, celibacy, and non-violence. This is the austerity of body. There are 3 kinds of austerity. 2 points. Austerity of body, mind, speech. So austerity of body consists in worshipping the Lord, like, and in cleanliness, simplicity, taking bath, shower every day is austerity in this age. Keep the body clean. To lead a simple life is austerity. To eat only prasadam is austerity. To restrict our tongue, to not eat anything and everything, austerity. So this is all austerity of the body. Now there is austerity of speech also, because tongue is the most, what is the voracious. It wants to keep talking, right? People spend and take so much pleasure gossiping about different things. So austerity of speech is in speaking truth, in speaking words which are truthful. Clearly understand which are truthful, not just truthful, they should be pleasing and beneficial to others and not agitating to others. If one can follow this thing, this speech, he will never get into conflict with anyone. So one should speak truth, but that truth should be pleasing and it should be spoken which is beneficial. If the truth is not beneficial, there is no point. And it should not agitate to others. Like it should not cause um agitation in others so that they become angry. This is the austerity of speech. He very clearly, Prabhupada says, one should not speak in a way so as to agitate the mind of others. Of course, when a teacher speaks, he can speak the truth for the instruction of his students. But such a teacher should not speak to those who are not his students if he will agitate their minds. This is the penance for as far as talking is concerned. Sometimes people have this habit of giving advice, even if advice is not asked. Just keep talking and keep giving advice. Here, one should not give any advice, free advice. If you are in a situation when you are a mentor, teacher, and other person has agreed to you be their mentor, teacher, then you can advise that person and maybe point out their shortcomings and with the not just like not with the intention of putting them down, only talk about their shortcomings if you can help them to overcome that. If you can't help that person in any way, then what's the use of just talking about and discussing with third person? So we should not speak then. That is what is called, if the speaking should be done which is truthful, pleasing, and also beneficial. It should be beneficial to that person and not agitating. These are the three criteria for austerity of speech. And Prabhupada says, besides that, one should not talk nonsense. Okay, this is the penance of speech. And satisfaction, simplicity, gravity, self-control, and purification of one's existence are the austerities of mind. The three austerities: body, mind, speech. Okay. Austerity of mind is feeling oneself satisfied in all situations, living a simple life, self-control, and purification. All these are austerity of mind. Because mind is if mind is under control, it can be the best friend. If not, it becomes a worst enemy. So, and mind is the one which keeps asking, give me this, give me this, give me this. Let's go here. Let's look for sense enjoyment. Like, go here. Keeps asking. So we have to train the mind. Best training of mind is gravity in thought. It should be trained that it can always be thinking of doing good for others. That's how we should train our mind. Otherwise, mind will dictate us. We should be in control of our mind, not that mind is in control of us. So then Lord Krishna defines that this threefold austerity, which is performed with transcendental faith by men not expecting material benefits, but engaged only for the sake of supreme, is called austerity in goodness. Okay, so this is the austerity in goodness performed with body, mind, and speech for the sake of supreme. The moment we introduce something for ourselves, like doing some austerity out of pride or to gain some respect, honor, worship, it becomes in the mood of passion. And ignorance is when someone performs foolishly, self-torturing, or destroying or injuring others. Sometimes people do austerities with the intention of gaining some siddhis to destroy others, injuring others. All those things are ignorance. This is the ignorance word. Like Hiranyakashipu, right? He did so much penance to become immortal and kill the demigods. the moment your intention is to harm others in any way, it becomes a tamasic. And the moment your intention becomes to gain some material benefit, to gain some respect, man, pratishtha, puja, worship, these are all hindrances. It becomes in mode of passion. Topmost is do selfless for the pleasure of Lord. Everything for Lord Krishna, nothing for me, everything for Lord Krishna, for his satisfaction, for his devotee satisfaction. I am just a medium, I'm just a servant. Never think oneself to be the karta and I am the doer. Like sometimes people get this, even devotees get this. Okay, I made this temples, big temples. We should never think we are making these temples. We should always think it's our good fortune that Lord Krishna is engaging us and using us as medium in building these temples or doing this work. I am nothing. I have no capability like that. Then we will be always on a safe line. Otherwise, prides will take over and we'll become too pride. Outwardly, we may be showing very humbleness, but inside we have pride. And then Krishna, being sitting in our heart, knows everything. And Krishna does not like anyone to be pride. He specifically does not like the pride part. Okay. Now next comes the charity part. Charity is also in three modes. First one, topmost, is given dutifully, no expectation of return, given at proper time, proper place to a worthy person like Brahmana. Okay, that's the first charity. Charity given out of duty without expectation of returns at the proper time, place to a worthy person is considered to be mode of goodness. For example, whenever we had havan, spare sacrifice, right? We should give charity to the priest. The fire sacrifice is not considered complete if the dakshina is not given to the priest. So we should give. We should give because Lord has given this ability for us. We should give charity indiscriminately, like with not indiscriminately, sorry, with the proper consideration. The Prabhupada says there is no recommendation for giving charity indiscriminately. We should know whom we are giving charity, whether this person is eligible, what he's going to do with that money. Because if you are just giving charities, let's say you give a charity to a drunkard, a poor person drunkard, and he's buying the liquor from your money which you are given in charity, that's not a good use. So he will also incur sin and you will also partake of his sinful reaction because you facilitate him engaging in drinking liquor. Right? So why you will give charity? At the same time, if you give that poor person, if he accepts some fruits which is prasad, then that's better. Okay, so worthy persons is here. Charity is recommended to be given at a place of pilgrimage. When we go for a pilgrimage, we should definitely give charity. And at lunar or solar eclipses or at the end of month or to a qualified Brahmana or Vaishnava devotee or in temples. Okay, so these are the worthy places to give charity. We should give definitely to the temples, to prasad distribution, to book distribution, for building the temple, for running the temple, one should give charity. These are all goes directly to the Krishna, Lord Krishna. We should definitely give charity. But one should not give charity just like that. Like, as I was saying, if we see that the money, the Lakshmi which is being given in charity is not going to get used for a proper purpose, then one should avoid. And one should not expect any return. Sometimes people boast, oh, I give this much. Like they don't expect material return, but inherently they are boasting about giving, which is pride again. There is a saying in Hindi, Neki kar darya mein dal. Like you do the charity, but forget about it. Darya mein dal. That is what it is. Neki kar darya mein dal. So one should give charity and then forget about it. That is how it should be. When the expectation of return comes, or if there is any desire for fruits, or a charity given in a grudging mood, it becomes mode of passion, right? Sometimes there is a desire for name, fame. My name will be announced, or my name will be placed on a big plaque. Or sometimes people build the temple, but they want their name to be prominent in the temple, or they build a hospital. Their name should be there in the hospital, like that. That charity is in the mode of passion. So there is expectation of some name, fame, like, or in a grudging mood also. Grudging mood meaning you don't want to give, but out of grudge. Grudging meaning compelling. Someone is asking you, and yeah, okay, chalo isko de dete hain, chalo. Compelling mood. So that is, and then you are repenting कि कितना पैसा दे दिया, I gave this much, and you are repenting, oh, this much he took away, and he's this, that. So that is grudging mood. That is in the mode of passion. And ignorance is charity performed at impure place to an improper time, unworthy person, or without proper attention and respect. This is in the mode of ignorance. Okay, so one should not give. For example, when we go on in a car, right, we see there are so many what you call, people stops and they ask for money. One day someone asks, and you have $1. I say, what you need for? And he say, I will buy a beer. If you know this person is going to buy liquor, beer from that money, why you would give? So I say, no, I'm not. I don't give for liquor. If you want food, I can buy your food, but not for liquor. And he say, no, I don't need food. Then it's like that. Because once you give to that person and he buys liquor, as I was saying, or he buys drugs, he is anyway incurring sin, but you will also partake of that sin. आप भी उस sinful reaction के भागीदार हो जाएंगे. You become partake. So one needs to be careful. But when one goes to Tirth Sthal, like when you go to Vrindavan, Vraj, a lot of people asking for charity, you should give something there and not be miser. Give something to them, right? And definitely one should be giving a portion of their hard-earned money to the temple. That is the duty of every grihastha, householder. Because Krishna can take away everything just any time. But one gives out of duty from the heart. Krishna reciprocates. Krishna sees that. He gives them, even that without asking, Krishna will give him more. That is the secret. Like one time I was hearing one saintly person saying that people devise so many ways to become rich. Right? The easiest is, if you want to become rich, help someone who is in need, like who is very poor, help a temple and give him some. And Krishna will return tenfold, 10 times. There is no other investment where you can get 10 times. Krishna will reciprocate and give you 10 times. If you help give charity to a worthy person. Okay, so we'll stop here. I think it's 11:45 already. Anyone has questions? Any questions on so far? We discussed today the food, the worship, sacrifice, austerity, and charity. That these are in 3 modes, and anything which we do for the Lord Krishna, it transcends these 3 modes. It becomes pure goodness. So for example, charity given for building of temple, for prasad, for running of temple of Lord Krishna, without any expectation, is in the pure goodness. And same is the food, sacrifice, austerity.
Maybe it's not.
Yes, Aparna ji.
Like always, our mind controls our actions. How to do
Yes.
that reverse?
Reverse.
Like any strategy or things
Yeah,
to
so
do.
exactly. So question is mind always controlling us. Mind demands, okay, today I want to go out, or like, I'll give you a situation. So on Sundays we go to the temple, which is good. Normally every devotee goes. Sometimes mind says, today let's not go to the temple. Let for a change go somewhere else. Let's go to the party, or let's go to someone. In those situations we have to not listen to the mind. So there are three things: mind, intelligence. So mind's job is to just keep generating ideas. Let's do this, let's do this, let's do this, let's do that. On an average, the mind generate, I think scientifically also, 40 or 50,000 thoughts in a day, right? And someone who is not in devotee association, most of this would be either material enjoyment, or how to make more money, or how to basically put someone down. So all negative things. So one thing is to remain in association of devotees so that our mind generates thoughts which are devotional. Okay. And then we have to sharpen our intelligence, because intelligence is a gateway, it's a filter. Mind will generate, intelligence say, okay, this thought is not good. This will not help me to progress in devotional life. Drop it. This is good. This thought is good. Okay, let me accept it. So we have to sharpen our intelligence with the blade of spiritual knowledge. That's why it's very important to be in association of devotees, read Bhagavad Gita, do our spiritual sadhana, because that sharpens our intelligence. Then when mind will generate these kind of thoughts which are not conducive for devotional service, for progressing, intelligence will say, no, this is useless thought, let's drop it, like that. And slowly, mind will stop generating those thoughts. Mind will become under control. But it happens with practice. Even Arjun was asking this question, that it's very difficult to control the mind. And Krishna says, Abhyasena kaunteya, like with the practice, you will be able to do. I know mind is very difficult to control, but with practice, it is possible. And not just practice, I am adding that remain in the association of saintly people, devotees, like-minded people. So your thoughts also will become spiritualized. The mind will automatically become, will just start generating thoughts which are good thoughts.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. And sometimes we are in dilemma whether this is right or wrong. Then always take help of someone more experienced. If you can't decide what is good and right for you, then take help. Don't hesitate to ask for help. So yeah, that's another thing. Like in even in material education, like someone is not clear, he asks for help from the teacher, right? I'm not clear on this aspect of this subject. Same case. Any other question? Anyone else? So my request is to just go back and read this again, because then it will sink in. Otherwise, it won't sink in. So just read 1 or 2 times the same, whatever we do, or in your free time, just look. We are recording these sessions so that you can revise. Just go through the recording again when you are driving, or in your free time, or you have some moment. Just do. So then it will go. It goes in, sink in. Then you don't have to, what you call, remember. You will automatically remember. Okay, that's my request. How you can internalize these teachings from Lord Krishna. Very practical. Okay, then thank you so much. If no more questions, then we'll see again next week. And those who are joining a little late, I saw